He rides the number 1 machine. He comes out of Seneca, PA. He's sponsored by Phoenix Honda Racing, Maxxis Tires, Elka Suspension, Honda Racing, and Moose Racing. It's Joel Hetrick.
Riding aboard the number 3. He is your 11th fastest qualifier today from Peru, Indiana on a Tim Detling Racing Motorsports, Corrosion Specialties, Maxxis Tires, SSI Decals, backed Honda, Brogan Geyer.
He qualifies 10th today. He wears number 55, comes from Peru, Indiana. He's sponsored by 989, Corrosion, Maxxis, Elka Factor, SSI Decals. He is Logan Stanfield.
Aboard the 741 from Myersville, Maryland on a Hetrick Racing 9.2 Impact Solution, Maxxis Tire, Goldspeed, Fly Racing, backed Honda, WW, Wesley Wolf.
Qualifying 9th, 8th quickest today. It's the number 14 coming out of Hennessy, Oklahoma on a Dussa Racing Henson Clutch Components PEP Performance Machine. It's Troy Hill.
Riding aboard the number 28, qualifying 7th fastest. He's one of Florida's own from Palm City. On board the Phoenix Racing Honda Team Machine, Jeffrey Rostrelli.
Going to the gate 6 today. He wears the number 4 coming out of Springtown, Texas on his Honda, Bryce Ford.
Rolling to the line 5th today. Aboard the number 15 from New Jersey on the Gen USA backed Yamaha, Nick Janusa.
Going to the gate 4th. It's the number 84 out of Sanger, Texas. It's a CST T-Brown training machine. It's the 84 of Thomas Brown.
A two-time Supercross champion right here at Daytona International Speedway, as well as a multi-time national champion. Riding aboard the number 4 from Galena, Illinois on the Wiener Motorsports SSI Decals Maxxis Factory Yamaha, Big Chad Wiener.
The young man going to the gate 2nd today hails from Paris, Tennessee. He rides a EBC Racing Skids Tom Miller built motor. It comes out of Peru, Indiana. Paris, Tennessee,
Alan Myers. And last and certainly not least, riding aboard the number 26 from Kennard, Nebraska, your top qualifier today on the box performance, TDR Motorsports and Pafford EMS backed, as well as Decker Racing. On board the Honda, Brandon Hogue. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup as the gate is down and racing action underway here at Daytona International Speedway. It's a jockey for position on the inside. I believe that may be T. Brown grabbing the early lead now as he's got that beautiful light blue and white trim out there. Brown out front, and we've got a battle. Look at this, already starting to shape up. Chad Weenan in the number 2 spot, and look at the battle back there in 3rd and 4th place positions.
You know what this tells me, Rodney? This tells me the old guns are here to defend right now. They saw the youngsters in action. They know they're going to be taking some heat right now. But look at Thomas Brown out front right now, gaining some real estate, trying to put some distance between him and this pack.
I'll tell you what, Thomas Brown's got a world championship to his belt as we've gone to the Motocross of Nations, the Quad Cross of Nations on several occasions. The first time the USA went there, we won. Thomas Brown led him. He won the individual overall, so he's a world champion looking for a Daytona Supercross championship here today. We'll see if he can pull it off as we wrap up lap number 1 now here in the sands of Florida. Brown out front. That is Weenan in the number 2 spot. In 3rd place is Joel Hetrick, your defending champion from right here at Daytona ATV Supercross last year and for the 2019 season. Alan Myers, one of your top qualifiers, the 24 machine in 4th. Bryce Ford, the rookie, in the number 5 spot. Brogan Geyer is 6th. Wesley Wolf in 7th. Brandon Hogue in 8th. Troy Hill in 9th. And Wes Lewis rounds out your top 10 at the end of lap number 1. A couple of notables. Jeffrey Rostrelli is 16th place right now. Nick Janusa back in 13th place position. These are both top 5 riders consistently on the ATV National Championship schedule. To see them both outside the top 10, they've got a long road to hoe here in this first round of racing.
ATV race fans, here it is. You couldn't ask for the script to be set, the scene to be set any better. All the top contenders up front. We're at the World Center of Racing in Daytona, and man, do we have a race right now. Thomas Brown Chad Wienen, the defending champ, in the third position right now. And I tell you what, there's a whole gaggle of riders that want to bust that podium today, Rodney.
Fourth and fifth place, a sophomore and a rookie. Alan Myers and Bryce Ford duking it out for that fourth place position. Meanwhile, the front three are starting to stretch it out a little bit, but they're keeping them in sight. But those two are all by themselves in fourth and fifth. But that sixth place ride right now, Wesley Wolf is lurking back there in the background, and it looks like he may be starting to inch his way forward a little bit. Also going to want to keep an eye on the 26 of Brandon Hogue. We know he's got some speed out here.
I tell you mentioned Wesley Wolf. You watch that young man. You watch the arch in the back. You watch how low he gets over those bars when he sends that quad. Wesley Wolf going to be one to watch right here. But look at this. Possible move up front. Not able to make it happen. Wienen able to defend right there. Thomas Brown feeling the heat. And look at this. Rastrelli trying to come up and put it together. Oh, big rhythm right there, like Kevin was talking about just a minute ago. Big move.
Big problems right now for the Phoenix Racing Honda of Jeffrey Rastrelli, who came in here so excited about this Supercross race, was looking to really make his mark in 2020, and here he sits in the middle of the racetrack, broke down. What's going on up front, Megawatt?
I tell you what's going on up front. It's a dogfight. Two guys are starting to kind of pull away right now. It looks like Chad Wienen and Thomas Brown. But as soon as I say that, inside comes Rastrelli. He's trying to put it back together. But take a look at the... Joe Hetrick. I'm sorry. Look at these guys, this freshman and sophomore, trying to put it together, though, right here. These guys not letting up. And Wesley Wolf still in the hunt.
Wolf is still back there lurking in the shadows, but this three-man shootout, look at this. Thomas Brown going to the inside of the option lane. Wienen and Hetrick both going to the outside. So earlier, the fast line was on the inside. Did you see that? Chad Wienen making up a whole host of real estate there, along with Joel Hetrick, as they are bumper to bumper now, wrapping up this fourth lap of racing now.
I tell you what, save of the day by Hetrick. He rolled up on the back tire of Wienen right there, coming off of that off-camber. As Wienen gassed it, Hetrick just able to just basically ride off of that back tire.
Hetrick actually turned the fastest lap that time around at a 102.5, a 102.9 for Chad Wienen, a 103.2 for Thomas Brown. So he's feeling the heat this time around, even more so than in the past. But now it's starting to wick it up just a little bit more. We may see Joel Hetrick trying to get around the 44 of Chad Wienen here pretty soon, but it's just a matter of a cat and mouse game right now. I think these guys are just kind of trying to feel each other out.
Oh, here goes Hetrick. Whoa!
Oh, no. Hetrick trying to slingshot around the outside, side by side with Chad Wienen for just a moment, but Wienen's able to get that horsepower to the ground and maintain that second place position. He was going for it.
Just too much real estate in between them. He had the momentum, he had the drive, but too much ground to cover. But look at this. Hetrick not giving up, bringing that thing back in on Wienen right now. Brown now about to face some lappers. Hopefully he's going to look over his shoulder here. He hears them coming. He knows that's not back markers. It's the leaders coming through. Thomas Brown, Chad Wienen. There comes Joel Hetrick putting another drive on. He wants to get that thing back on the ground. But watch when we get into this corner down here. Hetrick starts making the move. He's definitely faster on the west end of the course.
No doubt about that, and he's trying to go for the setup. And I'll tell you, he has already gotten into the head of the 44 machine. He knows what he's going to do. Is he going to try the same thing this time around, and will he be able to force the issue and open the door this time? Here comes Hetrick. Watch how he maneuvers this ATV inside and outside through this racetrack. And on the outside, he goes again high on that berm. The drive coming down the stretch, and Wienen still with the advantage, but he switches up lines this time.
Now he comes underneath of Thomas Brown, not able to make it happen there. Wienen still holding on, but look at the line by Hetrick.
Hetrick's got a little different approach coming up this front stretch by the finish line in front of the announcer's tower this time, but not going to pay big dividends just yet. But what a way to push this machine, and the riders ahead of you right now. You know both Thomas Brown and Chad Wienen feeling the heat right now from Joel Hetrick as they continue to motor along. Looking back in that fourth and fifth place, still Myers and Ford. Wolf still back in sixth. Brandon Hogue up to seventh place. Wes Lewis in eighth. We see Nick Janusa now up to a ninth place position. Noah Mickelson rounding out your top 10.
I got to tell you, Rodney, this thing is going to heat up sooner than later. Oh, Thomas Brown makes a small mistake right there. Oh, Wienen follows him into the same mistake. Now here we go. Let's see what happens as we get to this west end of the track. Again, Hetrick goes high, tries to set it up. Just too much space in between them. Now this time he goes to the high line.
Boy, I thought that Chad might have had him pass that time around. Had Thomas in his sights where they came through that split lane there and switched back there for just a moment. Almost looked like Chad was going to gain an advantage, but Thomas comes out maybe this time with a little bit of breathing room, if that is considered breathing room at this point.
Honestly, I think that's the biggest gap between all three of them in the last 3 laps is 2 quads.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's the biggest gap between those guys in 3 laps, and they're flying in formation right now, Rodney. How much time to go?
Didn't start the clock, unfortunately, but I think we're about 7 minutes in, if my calculations are correct right now. Thomas Brown continues to lead Chad Wienen and Joel Hetrick as these front 3 are starting to stretch it out, and looks like things have started to stretch out between the 4th and 5th place ride. Alan Myers has solidified that 4th place position, as it looks like the number 4, the young Bryce Ford, has backed off just a little bit, and it may be about ready to feel some pressure coming in from Wesley Wolf, because Wesley Wolf's got problems coming in now from Nick Janusa. Janusa is closing in hard now from the 8th place position.
Big mistake there. I think that was Janusa. Came up short, but like you said, all kinds of heat coming on for Wesley Wolf as we go back to these front 3. Just about the identical gap they were last time around, Rodney. That's incredible.
By the way, that is Team USA you're looking at right there from the Quad Cross of Nations. Nice. They have won the last 3 World Championship titles. They're going to be going again. Well, we assume those 3 will be going, but we'll pick our team again this year. But these guys have gone together a couple of different occasions, and they have won every time. They've been there 3 times. Jeffrey Rastrelli, a part of it 1 year. Joel Hetrick sitting out for his wedding that year. They went over. They won, and last year Joel won the overall himself. He's a world champion and a national champion this year. So some pretty amazing stuff. Those 3 guys right there are the elite of our sport, no doubt about it.
And as you just pointed out, worldwide. Global. These guys are the. Oh, look at this, Rodney, heating up. Wienen's been setting it up. Kevin, how many laps we've been watching this, Kevin?
Every lap. That's rhythm down there. Those guys are going on the outside. They're double tripling. On the inside, they're double single inside, and they're coming out the same. It's and we keep watching it, but it's so
close. Little mistake. Little mistake by Thomas Brown, and Chad Wienen able to capitalize as he goes and threads the needle. Chad Wienen moves to the front of the pack on this one. Brown in second, and now Joel Hetrick knows he's got to get rolling.
Yeah, we're going to see if Joel keeps using that high line down there at the west end, because I got to tell you, Kevin, you and I were that was the last place I thought that pass was going to happen down there.
I tell you, I didn't think down there. They were so tight on the west end of the track. You thought that's where the pass had to happen. Down there, they kind of almost single-filed it a little bit just because the speed's a little bit higher. So the fact they passed down there makes me more excited. What's going to happen down there on the west end?
I believe you're right. I believe it's going to go down real soon, and I believe the man who's going to make a move is Joel Hetrick. He has been testing the waters lap after lap down there. This track is absolutely amazing. These lines, inside, outside, the dirt consistency. These guys have room to pass. That's more than obvious. And I got to say, Daytona and this track crew, they have knocked themselves out. We have said it many times over the weekend. This was a pro supercross track on Saturday, an amateur supercross track on Sunday, a pro ATV motocross track and vintage track on Monday. Or Tuesday, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's big, dude. That's a lot of days.
That's a lot of days. Hey, folks, just to give you a summary, Chad Wienen, a 2-time champion here at Daytona International Speedway. John the Tally winning, I believe, in the first season out here. That would have been 2015. 2016, Chad Wienen took it. 2017, Chad Wienen took it. 2018, Joel Hetrick took it. Today, still up in the air as Chad Wienen out front. He may be looking for a 3-time championship here at Daytona International Speedway.
Right now, Thomas Brown feeling the heat. Joel Hetrick really starting to dial it up a bit, and I believe been testing those waters on the west end, going to see what he can do as he works through this front fast section here. Been trying to out-jump him onto that second bump. Hasn't worked the last few laps. Can he set him up down here in this tight left-hander? Wienen still continuing to pull away, working his way through the traffic. These guys having a little bit of a struggle right now. They're going to contend with each other plus a lapper. So Wienen definitely having the advantage, in my opinion, on the lappers right now. Here we go. Thomas Brown, Joel Hetrick headed for the far end. Let's see if Hetrick uses that high line one more time. No, lapper's in the way. Thomas Brown popping that thing up out of there. And look at Chad Wienen. Chad Wienen just on the gas right now, in their heads. And I tell you, we got a battle going on.
Yeah, we do for that second place position. There is Josh Merritt just ahead of them, the GNCC racer. So we'll see what kind of a bearing he may or may not have on this race. He's getting out of the way. He goes out wide. No bearing whatsoever. He knows what it's like to be out there, and he knows exactly what his place on the track is here today, and he don't want to be a part of that action up front. And right now, this is a battle for second and third place position on the podium.
And here we go, Rodney. They're all lined up again. 1, 2, 3. And it's a while before they run into lappers. So, oh, look at this. Hetrick closing up. Going tire to tire with him down deep in that rut. This is where we expect to see some action here, this far west end. Thomas Brown puts the power down. And look at the closing speed of Hetrick. Again, up on the bales. Not able to put it together. Thomas Brown has a great rhythm through there. His timing almost impeccable. But look at this. Chad Wienen. He has no problem getting the power to the ground right now. He has clear sailing ahead of him.
What was a nose-to-tail battle, less than a half second, basically, from top to first to second and third. 4 seconds. Whoa, mercy! What we got going on there? Joe Hetrick actually getting his hands off the bar?
Yeah, it landed a little sideways and it pulled the bars out of his hands.
And he gets back on it, and Thomas only gains a few bike links out there, and Joe is right back on it trying to regain that lost real estate. Now, let's look a little further back into this. Again, Jeffrey Rastrelli out of this one after one lap of racing. Don't know what the issue was there. It looked like some sort of a mechanical problem for him as he was off on the inside of the racetrack. He pushed his bike off the racetrack. Right now it's Wienen, Brown, Hetrick, Alan Myers all by himself now. He's about 9 seconds back in that fourth place position. Bryce Ford another 4 seconds back in fifth. Brandon Hogue, one of our top heat race winners today, the number 26 in sixth place position, 8.5 seconds back. Wesley Wolf in seventh. Wes Lewis, the 79 machine, he is in eighth place. Ninth place is Noah Mickelson. Logan Stanfield, rookie rider out of Peru, Indiana, the number 55 is 10th place here today. And as we look at this, Brogan Geyer is 11th. Josh Merritt just moved up a position in the 12th place. So Josh Merritt is certainly making some gains out there, even after being lapped by your leaders. And look at this. Joel Hetrick has closed the gap once again. Oh! He and Brown get together. Brown goes down. Hetrick takes over second place. Here comes Myers. Myers may inherit the third place position. Brown trying to get that thing back on four wheels. He's on. And Myers goes by. Myers now into the number 3 spot. Brown still trying to fire it up. Here comes Ford now. Ford's going to get by. Ford's going to take over the fourth place position. And Thomas Brown can do nothing but sit and watch this all happen as he tries to refire that Yamaha.
I want to tell you, that's about as exciting a race as I've seen all weekend long. Checkered flag is out. White flag lap. These two guys have been less than 1 second apart for 15 minutes, and it all comes down to one corner.
Well, I have to wonder. Well, I was beginning to think and wonder. The way Thomas was looking, it looked like he was. Well, I'll tell you, there was a first turn altercation. When Hetrick went down in that first turn, I know he was a little disgruntled, a little upset at that particular time. From what I understand, they got it all sorted out in the pro pits. But I also watched this race, and I know that Joel has been pushing, trying to find a line. And as tight as this racetrack is, I'm sure there was nothing. I'm sure they bump each other. That's just a part of racing. We know how that goes. It may have been a little bit aggressive, but hey, you know, you got to understand this situation at hand out here. Look at that. That all happened so quickly. Here at the end of the race, the checker flag is waving now. And I didn't even realize that we were that far into it, but we're 15 minutes now past this one. And Chad Wienen, I believe, is going to get the nod and the win in this one. Joel Hetrick will take second. Alan Myers will take the third place position. Bryce Ford in fourth. Brandon Hogue will round out the top 5. Wesley Wolf in 6th. Wes Lewis in 7th. Thomas Brown in 8th. Noah Mickelson 9th. And Logan Stanfield rounds out the top 10. I'm going to head down to the winner's circle here. Megawatt. But wow, what a day. You folks just witnessed it. You witnessed history. And you witnessed what I think is the start to a very intense ATV Motocross National Championship.
Well, I got to tell you, I've seen lots of quad races in my day. I've seen I've seen cross country quad racing, motocross quad racing. We've seen these guys at the Ironman. We've seen them at High Point. We've seen a lot of outdoor type of stuff. But I got to tell you, as far as this Supercross setting here today at Daytona, as far as this course, absolutely incredible and probably one of the greatest quad races I've witnessed, Kevin.
I mean, that was so exciting from the gate, from gate drop to the checker flag. And there was not just the leaders. Obviously, we're talking a lot about the leaders, but there was races going on all the way through the pack. But I'm going to tell you, those first 3 guys, I mean, I don't care what kind of racing you is call your favorite. If you can't enjoy that, you can't call yourself a fan of any kind of racing, because those guys were giving it all. Right there at the end, Hedrick got up under Brown, and obviously from this far back, it looked like just,
Contact.
Aggressive, clean racing, but man, that was just so exciting. Hedrick kind of landed short over here, and I thought, man, it's over, and somehow it closed back up. Watching these guys set up before the turns and trying to cut inside of each other, that was so cool. That's exactly what Hedrick did. But man, and Chad Weenie to make that pass and then get himself out there in the clean air and do some racing and kind of gap that, man, I'm sure that's going to make him feel good for the season.
That's sending a statement at Daytona, man. Like you said, come here, he threw the book at him, was able to make the pass, and when he did, was able to pull away as well. I got to tell you, Kevin, just like us, I watched this grandstand. Every arm in the place went up, man, on that pass right there. And a lot of folks, vintage motocross fans, a lot of people bike fans, a lot of people street bike fans. But like you said, I don't care right now. That's one of the best races I saw all weekend long, no matter what format.
I'm going to tell you, I mean, we all jumped up in here in the tower, and that only tells you what's going to this season. To me, that kind of sets the mood for what we're fixing to see.
Oh, yeah.
This is weekend 1 of the ATV Pro Racing. So what are we going to see, by the time we get to Loretta's at the end, the last round of the season? I mean, we're round 1.
You better believe it. And, man, I tell you, when you look at the message these guys did send, one guy says, I'm going to race hard all season long. Another guy says, hey, I'm going to bring it. I'm going to put a gap on these guys today. And a couple youngsters said, I tell you, we're going to race to the finish and we're going to bring it to you.
Well, exactly. In the qualifiers, a lot of young guys, coming up and making a statement early. And obviously we got into the main, these guys kind of took the lead and done it. But that just shows you again how exciting this season is going to be.
Oh, there's no question about that, Kevin. And what's awesome is the message was clear from all 3 of them, or all 4 of them. The message was clear. And, hey, we want to invite everybody down to Victory Lane right now. Not sure if you knew that, but come on over. You guys in the grandstands, make your way over. Come on over. Hang out with these guys that are super accessible. We're going to have a lot of fun here in just a minute. Rodney Tomlin's going to take over the podium for us. And, you guys come on in here and fill these seats up and make yourselves at home.
Yeah, it's really a cool situation here. This is the Gatorade Victory Lane. This is where they do the NASCAR Victory Lane. And so they are able to bring the ATV up in here. So if you're in the stands, you're hanging out around, make your way over to the Gatorade Victory Lane. Everyone's welcome to come in there and hang out in the stands and get to celebrate with these guys.
Well, I tell you, Kevin, not too many places in racing that you can do this. You're always behind the fence, but you can't come up and sit down. At the podium, like you can come over here, relax, and enjoy the podium celebration at Daytona.
Hey, these bleachers even have a back on them.
I can't get any better than that, my man. In just a couple minutes, we're going to have everybody set up down here. And right now, we're going to go ahead and throw it down to our man, Rodney Tomlin.
All righty. How about it, Daytona? What'd you think about that? Woo! That right there sets the stage for a great ATV National Motocross Championship, and to kick it all off here at Daytona, what a great way to do it. Let's put our hands together for this sophomore rider right here. How about it for Alan Myers? Congratulations, Alan, your first podium, man, and you come out here in 2020. You come a swinging, dude. Not only swinging in this main, but you came out swinging right off the bat.
Yeah, you know, the whole team switch deal this year, I just really made it a focus to just have fun. You know, I'm only going out there and having fun, and every lap out there was an absolute blast. And, you know, I told Casey and Mike Walsh before the moto I wasn't going to ride over my head. I wasn't worried about going out there and setting the fastest lap times or anything like that. I was just going out there to ride my race, and that's what I did. And, you know, that's how it turned out for the better, you know, and I'm super stoked. I just can't thank everybody enough.
And speaking of those that you can't thank enough, who are those?
First of all, my mom and dad, you know, they do everything for me, and I just cannot thank them enough. E-Racing, Todd West, part of his team this year. It's me and a couple other kids, and I'm so stoked to be a part of that. But Casey Greek, I'd like to thank him too for helping set up the bike. He's been a major part of my program. Mike Walsh, Jay Golba, Elka Suspension, Blood Lubricants, Moose. There's just so many people. Maxxis Tires, Renegade Fuel, RP, Hinson, Moto Trim, DP Brakes, Precision Bar Clamps, Tom Miller Motorsports, Parts Unlimited, Four Works Carbons, ODI, EBS, Gold Speed, Works Connection, Rhino Power. The list just goes on. Rocket Hubs. I just can't thank everybody enough. Frankie Witt, my mechanic, he's been bending over backwards for me, and I can't thank him enough. I also like to thank his wife too for giving him the time off to be here and help me, and you know, he is just a huge part of my program. I can't thank him enough.
First professional podium right here, Alan Myers, ladies and gentlemen. Moving over next to this guy right here. How about it for last year's winner, runner-up this year, Joel Hetrick. Joel, congratulations to you. I know, man, I could tell by the way you were pushing out there, you were hoping for a little bit more, but you come through this one safe and clean. It almost didn't turn out that way, man. You and Thomas were in a heated knockdown drag out back there.
Yeah, I made a couple mistakes right off the bat and then had to find a groove, really. And, you know, towards the end of the race, I was a little surprised with the white flag, honestly, because we were just in a heated battle. And, you know, I knew I had to make a move, and I came on the inside of Thomas. We got together, and we about both ate it. And just racing incidents, you know, like what happened to me earlier today. I came off the quad from something like that, and you know, we just bounce up and keep pushing. And you know, today wasn't obviously what we were wanting to get, but we're on the podium, and I always want to come out of here safe and on the podium. And I had really a couple bad scares, just personally. It was my fault, and my hands were off the bars. David was like, "You're coming right for me." I thought I was going to hit the fence, but you managed to, you know, grab on and go. But wow, it was a tough race. This Daytona is always a tough track, and you know, I just couldn't get a clean run today. And you know, obviously, this is the type of track where you need a clean run. But you know, props to these guys. Good job, Alan, on his first podium. I remember that. It's awesome. You know, good job to Chad, and you know, we're ready for the next one. We're ready to get outdoors.
Alrighty. Well, Joel, I know there's a lot of folks that helped get you here. You put in a lot of hard work this off season, and the road is certainly made a lot easier whenever people are behind you.
Of course. I couldn't do it without the Phoenix Racing Honda team. Maxxis Tires, Gold Speed, GPS. Sorry, we switched a couple things. Factory 43, Elka Suspension, Jay Goebel, Casey Greek, Impact Solutions, ODI, Gary, my mechanic, Parts Unlimited, Moose Gear. This new stuff is awesome. DASA, CP, DP Brakes, Four Works Carbon, SSI Decals, Works Connection, Guts, Alpine Star, of course my mom and dad, Evans Coolant, Hinson, Behringer, and my family and friends for coming out, and you guys for cheering us on. It really fires us up and gets us that extra edge. I also like to thank Mike Walsh. He did some testing with me before this race, huge improvements, so I'm super pumped that he was able to do that for us. And if I forgot anyone, sorry. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. This is a big deal for us, so you know, ready for round two.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Joel Hetrick, also your DirtNation.com fastest qualifier. You got that hardware. Alan's got his third place boogie board over there, or these wakeboards over here. And this guy right here, just an honor and a privilege once again to give this guy right here the number one. How about it for big Chad Whedon? Chad, that's what, number 3 right there, huh?
That's number 4, my friend.
Number 4, even better, my friend. See, I love it whenever I'm behind on times like that because it means only better things for you and great things have happened. And, man, does it get any sweeter? I imagine this one probably just as sweet as the first one, honestly.
You know, it really does, and it never gets any easier. Thomas was on rails out there, and you know, bummed for his outcome. He was riding really good, and these guys were out for wins. And I had a blast out there today. The track is very tight, tough to pass on, but I think it made a really good show today. And man, just you know, coming off of last year, you know, just coming up short of the championship, and we put the work in. We put the work in myself on my body and the machine. We're performing, and we started off just the way we'd like to. And you know, we're just ready for battle the rest of the year, and it's going to be an exciting year.
It is. It most certainly is. And if that race is any indication, I mean, you front three out there, nose to tail, for the biggest part of the race, there probably was 3/4 of a second that separated first to third. That was intense.
Yeah, that was. I didn't really like my position right there. You know, going through that race, I had Joel from the back, so I couldn't open up my line too much, and he about got me one time coming around this rhythm right here before the finish line, and I was like, man, I got to try and be clean through my turns, and you know, Thomas kind of pushed him in a mistake. It looked like he hit like a neutral or something over that little step up, and it was pretty tricky. And you know, I just got a good run on him, and just kind of waited for him what move he was going to make, and I just controlled the inside. And man, just my Wiener Motorsports Yamaha was just ripping out there today, and you know, we got a championship caliber machine here, and all I got to do is just put the throttle.
So I think anybody that has any question about what Chad Whedon's intentions are this year, we may have just had them answered right there, huh?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, obviously the goal is here to leave safe, and I just rode my own race. I tried to just be clean as I could, and the start was pretty gnarly, and you know, we made our way through it, and just the crowd out here is awesome. I can hear you guys rolling by this straight stretch, and just props to my team, the Wiener Motorsports Yamaha YC50R, Maxxis tires, SSI decals, Walsh Racecraft, Fly Racing, DWT wheels on board, PP Performance Tuning. Man, they really woke up this machine this year, and hats off to Jamie for all his work that he did. And Wrath Racing, Crankworks, Alaska Motorsports, Anti-Gravity, Renthal, CP Carrillo, Maximum Racing Oils, FMF, Works Connection, Vortex, Behringer Brakes, of course those tire balls and DID chain, and Fox shocks. And you know, the personnel, I got my wife, she's always there, my pops, Mama Dina, and you know, the whole WM crew down there, coming all the way from back home, coming down here to cheer me on to this win. And you know, of course, my friends and family, you know, all around, and Robert, you know, ripping a great gate for me, and you know, thanks to him for stepping in on mechanicking this weekend. My son there, he's trying to get up here. He's ready for the celebration, so I'm going to cut it out, and we're gonna enjoy this one.
Alrighty, sounds good. How about it? Put your hands together. Whoa.
Fly Racing, of course. Scott goggles, Shoei helmets, EVS, and every one of you out here, just A2 Motocross Nation. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Chad Whedon, ladies and gentlemen, Daytona ATV Supercross winner for the 4th time. And there he is, your point.